All right. We are rolling on all three of our cameras. How do we want to... Oh, wait. What the hell?
What's that?
What did I get all over my pants? Cool. I don't have shoes on. Should I be wearing shoes? You have shoes on.
Are your feet in the... Do you want to sell your feet pics?
I better put some shoes on. Alright, 3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to Jen, Gap, and Juice podcast.
We're never gonna get through this. Ever.
We're not gonna get through this. Woo. Okay. Hi, I'm Nicole.
Hey, I'm Lynsey.
And welcome to the Jen, Gap, and Juice podcast. This is our very first episode. Ignore that we don't have professional microphones or a professional looking set or anything. We are currently recording this in my living room, which, as time goes on, you may notice our studio may change. You never know. But we are so excited to kick things off. Lynsey and I have been wanting to start a podcast for a while now, and we finally decided to do something.
That's right. We did decide to do something.
So for this first episode, it's going to be just like a little introduction to us, to the podcast, and what you can expect from us. So, Lynsey, you want to start off?
Sure.
Introduce yourself?
Well, as I previously stated, I'm Lynsey. I am the mammal millennial of this duo. 43 years old. 43 and a half. No, I'm not going to age myself. 43 years old, and I guess my background, I grew up in Indiana, was raised on a farm, woohoo, and then went to college at IU Indianapolis. And then I moved to Nashville to follow the dream, not my initial dream of being the first woman in the NBA. I wasn't tall enough for that, but...
Neither am I, so...
That's a good point. But my dream of being in the music business. So I went to Belmont, lived the dream in song publishing, songwriting, and then moved back to Indianapolis. I guess 4.5 years ago now, and started a little business called S'moresicles, and that's when I met Nicole. And so her love of s'mores brought this Gen Gap friendship full circle.
Yeah.
And here we are recording a podcast together.
Yeah. So we literally bonded over our love for s'mores. If you don't know me, hi, I'm Nicole. I'm 29 years old, just turned 29. So, yeah, and then I grew up on the south side of Indy, went to school for journalism and visual communications, and so then right after school, I worked for a local news station for 3 years, and then after that, transitioned into like newsletter editing. So I was a writer for a local newsletter, and covered local businesses, local things to do in the city, supported a lot of small businesses in my role, and that is what led me to meeting Lynsey. Found out about her S'moresicles business through just, research I was doing for my job, local businesses that I was covering, and I personally always love going to local events and things like that, so I was going to her pop-ups whenever I saw them, and then we just ended up seeing each other a lot through that, and then became friends, and the rest is history. So
You would just come chill in Van S'morrison?
yeah, literally would just hang out with Lynsey at her, either like next to her bike or in her little van at pop-ups, and we would just like sit and talk, and yeah, I really appreciated the friendship that we grew through that. So yeah, so that's where we are now. We just decided we wanted to start a podcast together. Lynsey, you kind of came up with the concept behind the podcast, so do you want to explain to them kind of where the name came from?
Yeah, I mean, if I can remember fully. I feel like we've been talking about it for a while.
I know, yeah.
I feel like being back in Indianapolis, it's a little bit different than being in a city like Nashville, where it's fine if you are kind of single and older. You have a lot of friends that are your age that are doing the same thing, following their dreams, different things like that. Mm-hmm. Not that people aren't following their dreams in Indianapolis. I digress.
It's just a different vibe.
Yes. So being newer to Indianapolis, even though I grew up here, I didn't live here for like 15 years. Mm-hmm. And so it was a little difficult to make friends who are my age. A lot of people are married with kids, which I have friends who are married with kids, but it's just a different vibe. You can't call them up and be like, hey, I want to go work at a coffee shop today. Mm-hmm. It's like, no, I can't do that. But so when you and I met and our friendship kind of developed, I loved that. But also, I guess, I can come to you with things like, hey, I have a young team at work and they're talking about Labubu's and I don't know what that is. So can you make me not look like an idiot in front of my young team, make me a little more hip. So things like that I come to Nicole with. And then I feel like kind of vice versa, not that I'm old, I wouldn't consider myself old, but just life experience. I have built 14 years on you, 13 years. And so I feel like that has been helpful for our friendship. Mm-hmm. Also, our banter, like the wit and the way that you love puns.
Yeah.
I feel like that was initially that and s'mores.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was another thing that brought us together was puns. Yes. Because with my writing with the newsletter that I was working on, that was the style, was to write with puns and everything, and Lynsey appreciated that. So we kind of bonded over that as well. So
yes. Yeah. And I feel like just friendships in general are important, but especially generational gap friendships, you can really learn a lot from each other. Mm-hmm. And we've talked about this before, but I feel like at a certain point, age doesn't really matter. When you reach a certain age, it's we can be friends no matter what. And again, all of our differences, I feel like on paper, you wouldn't be like, oh, Lynsey and Nicole are totally going to be besties. Mm-hmm. But we're not on paper. So, I don't know. Do you want to speak to that a little bit? Because I know we've talked about it.
Yeah. I don't know. What do I even want to say about it? I think for me, it was when we became friends, I honestly didn't even think about our age gap or our age difference. A lot of times I didn't even, know how old you were or didn't care to, it wasn't a thing in my mind. I think it was just we had similar interests that brought us together, and it's it doesn't matter your background or where you came from or how old you are or whatever, it doesn't matter, as long as you connect with someone, that's all that matters.
I agree.
So, should we explain the title, Gen Gap, and Gen Gap, obviously, generational gap, that's what that's coming from, and then it's kind of a play on gin and juice, or do you want to explain it more?
No, I mean it is a play on gin and juice. We thought we definitely need to have a pun as our title, and then the funny thing about it is neither one of us really drink.
Yeah, so that's another thing about us. Yeah.
So it made it especially funny because I would like to have a squeeze it, but
and I'll drink some apple juice,
yes, but no, I think not to go super deep with it, but I just feel like there's got to be more people out there like us, like me, who thinks, oh, I'm too old to make friends, or does this make me look like I'm trying too hard, or I'm trying to be younger, and I feel like even when I was 20, I was 25 when I moved to Nashville, and I got a second degree there, and I remember even then thinking, I am so old compared to all these people who are doing their first undergrad. So I don't know, there's something about it where I've always felt like that's been a thing. I probably should talk about that in therapy, about feeling like I'm too old for something, or too old for a friendship, or too old to be cool, or whatever it is. But I was 25 then. Obviously, I was not too old for anything. So I think just being yourself, no matter what age you are, and having people meet you there. Mm-hmm. Because clearly, you don't care. Like, I've always cared more than I have other younger friends, and they're just like, would you stop talking about your age? We don't care. We don't see you as 40-something. You're just our friends who we connect with and have a good time with.
Right.
So, anything you want to add?
There was something I was going to say. Oh, I think another thing that brought us together too is just like, you touched on it a little bit, of just like having friends who are in different stages of life as you. For me, like, I feel the same way. Like, a lot of my friends are married or having kids or like, you know, about to have kids. So I'm like the only single one out of all of my closest friends. And so I think right now in this phase of my life, I've been connecting a lot more with the people that I can relate with, which, you know, makes sense. So I think that's another level where we relate, is like, we're both single. We both like have our careers and we have like places to live. We have our dogs. We have, you know, all this stuff, but we don't have like a partner or whatever. But I don't know. I think that's like another level where we relate to. So I think that's like another dynamic that like brought us together. And it's like, in that sense, like, age doesn't matter either. Like, you're 43.
Did you ever say 49? I'm
not. No, I was gonna say 49. I'm 29 and you're 43. So it's like, see, I didn't even remember how old she is. But but like, even though like we're different ages, like, we're still kind of in the same space.
Yeah, it's all about where you are in life. I feel like that you can either meet somebody there or not. And for whatever reason, we're both in this stage of life.
Yeah.
And I'm super thankful, because I feel like we have a great time, whether it's fever games or, you know, watching something ridiculous or talking about, we always say we need to have the mics on at all times, because we just have the most ridiculous conversations. And we're like, man, people would totally think this is so just silly, but people are probably having these same conversations, so let's be honest.
Yeah. And so that's what I'm really excited about, is just kind of just sharing our dynamic and just being like ourselves. And I think other people will relate or enjoy like seeing the dynamic that we have. So I'm really excited about it. And Lynsey and I, we just like, we go to coffee shops together, we work together remotely, or we go to fever games, or we just grab coffee, because we can never have too much coffee.
Or we grab coffee.
Yeah. Or we do all the above in the same day.
Yeah, like. we may grab a couple coffees, hit up a couple coffee shops, which I imagine we'll probably dedicate at least half a podcast to all the local coffee shops.
Right.
Indy definitely has a great coffee shop scene, and we have probably hit every single one.
Yeah, which that was gonna be like my segue into like kind of what people can expect from us on the podcast. So we definitely want to do like a segment where we're doing like coffee catch-ups, but like each time we're like either at a different local coffee shop, or we are drinking a different drink from a different local coffee shop. So we have that, and then what else are we want to get into? Obviously, like, since Lynsey and I are both single, we have obviously dating and relationship stuff we want to talk about. That's not going to be the sole focus, but definitely will be something that we will touch on. So there's going to be a lot of funny segments around that and our experiences.
We will probably talk about just some nonsense pop culture things that we're probably talking about over coffee.
We're teaching each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what else? I feel like just in general banter. I mean, and maybe some heavy topics. We're not going to be super heavy, but just like we were talking about differences and things like that. I mean, we're living life together as friends, and so, you know, even today we were both sharing that this hasn't been necessarily the greatest day, or the greatest week, but you know, sometimes we have seasons like that, and again, age doesn't matter when you have friends to go through those seasons with. And so we'll talk about things like that. We'll probably talk about grief. You know, I just lost my dad last year after a battle with cancer. And so that was a hard thing. Nicole was there for me during that. And so stuff as heavy as that to,
and
you know,
I'm out of a job right now, so yeah, kind of getting into like our, I guess, life updates or like where we're at right now. Like, yeah, there's like real things that we're dealing with. Obviously, like we're human, and I think it's gonna be healing in a sense to like kind of share those things too, of like what's going on in our lives and like the things that we're navigating and learning. And I think, I don't know, I personally enjoy like hearing just, you know, what other people are living through, because you can always learn from someone else, or maybe you will hear a story that you can relate to, and I think that is also a nice thing, is when you can hear stories from other people and know that like, oh, someone else went through something similar, or someone feels the same way about something, or anything you can take away from it. So if anyone can take away anything from the things that Lynsey and I share, then I think
oh, yeah.